Hey guys, welcome back. Today in the video 7 of TestNG we are going to talk about parameterization using data provider annotation. So in the last session we have seen that we can drive parameters using our XML config file. So there we are driving those parameters which we know that will be used very globally in all our programs. But there will be some specific scenario where you want to run program for different sets of data, and you know that that will be limited only to a class. So in that case you don't want to drive it through the config file. So you want to define your own parameters which are specific to that particular class, not for every other class. So that can be done using data provider annotation. Very important concept. So I'm just going back to the Eclipse and starting from where we have stopped yesterday. So this is the parameter.xml that we created. So I want to create a new XML file, so that which is specific to data provider concept. So I just copy paste yesterday's file and I'll call it as parameter. I'll call it as dp data provider xml. Click on OK. So you see data provider dp.xml is created here. So this is the way we have parameterized yesterday. Like we directly used the parameter name and gave its value. So I'm just removing this. I don't want my XML file to know what parameters I'm using in that specific test. So this will be at a high level. I just have this class which needs to be run. So let's create another class. Let's not disturb yesterday's example. So I'll create new class here under bookings and I'll call it as parameter PMT and DP. DP stands for data provider and I'll say finish. So this is my altogether new class which I have created. Okay, so this class for example has some 50 tests, and if you go to the SpiceJet URL, and this is what we are using for our test, right? So if you click on, if you hover over login, you see different types of logins are available. One is for member login, one is for agent login, corporate accounts, and all these are different types of users. So you know that SpiceJet supports all these different kinds of users. In the same way, your application might support two or three different types of users. Take the example of Amazon for it. So in the Amazon, you might have a regular user and you might also have a Prime user. So in that case, so for example, in the same SpiceJet, if you want to cover this functionality under flights round trip, you might have to cover that functionality for the normal user, for the agents, or for corporate. So you, in usual way, like whatever application you are testing, you might have to cover one scenario for different sets of users. So in that case, what you can do, that's just a high level example. So I'll tell you, like, if you have to run your 50 tests for, two or three sets of different types of users, how would you do that? That would be achieved using your data provider annotation. So for that, I'm going to first create a data provider. I call it data provider. This is the annotation that TestNG gave us, and I will name it as my data 1, because I might have any number of data providers in my coming classes, right? So I'll just for now I'll name it as 1 and define it public void my data provider 1. Okay, so it's asking you to import data provider. Just click on this. Here I'm going to create a multi-dimensional array. Okay, and I'll create an object of this called obj is equal to new object of. Okay, so this is a little tricky, try to understand it clearly. So the first number what I give here in this array is the number of rows or number of times the tests have to be run. So in this case, we have seen that our in the SpiceJet project, my particular tests have to be run for 4 different types of users, correct? So I know that these are the four types of users for which my tests have to run, and each test will have to run for what number of parameters. So each login you will have username and password. So there are 2 types of parameters which has to be run on 4 different types of users. That's what it means. So I hope you understand. I'll repeat it again. So objects of 4 and 2, what does it mean is there are 4 different types of users in my application, and for each user I'm passing 2 parameters, username and password. So whenever I mention 4 by 2 in the array, it means that there are 4 different types of parameter tests that has to be run on 2 parameters, which are username and password. So once you define this, you have to declare what those values are. So for that you'll use object name of always array index starts with 0, which is the first row, first column. I call it as user1. Okay, this is all about the first row which we are talking about here. So object of first row, again the second column is equal to my password 1. So till here we'll see what we have done. So we, out of 4 users, we have defined 1. 0, always array starts with the index of 0. So in the 0th row, the first column name is user1 and the second one is password 1. Coming to the second set of data, now we are done with the first row. Come to the second one, which is 1 of 0 is equal to user is 2. So you have inserted second user, and just imagine, like in the form of Excel how it looks like. So you are passing user by user one after the other. User 1, password 1, user 2, and password is pwd1. Ending. In the same way you have next row, first column there goes user 3. In the same way, second column there goes for password 3. So I covered 3 users as of now. So the last one is object of 3 of 0, where I have my user 4, and now 3 of 1. In this column my password 4 will sit. So in this way, how many I have covered? User 1, user 2, sorry, this should be password 2 that we are passing, user 3 password 3, and user 4 password 4. So we are basically telling our program that there are 4 different types of users and each user have one specific password. And now you have to return this object. Okay, say return object semicolon. So whenever you say this, you will see an error because we are saying that this method is returning void. So we have to change it to method return type to object. Just double click on this. So this is how we defined our data provider. So what does it say? So just see the live example that we have taken. So we know that a specific test here, or okay, 1 to some 50 tests, whatever are there, have to be run for 4 different types of users. So we are letting our program know that there are 4 different types of users and 4 different passwords. This is how I provided my data using the data provider annotation. Now see how we can use this in our test. So as we already know how to define the test, write at the rate of test annotation and tell this that we have to use a data provider for my test whose name is, what did we define, name is equal to my data1. Write this here, data1. So you are telling your test that you are going to use this particular data provider to run this test. Public void test case 1. Okay, import this test. Okay, like in the previous session, how we have seen to create local variables to capture whatever parameters we have in this method, the same way we have to tell this particular test that what are the parameters that we have. So we know that we are using two parameters in our test. So one is username and one is password. So I create local variables for this. One is uname and the other one is string pwd password. So this is my test, and now in the test I just want to write 1 or 2 lines just to see that we are getting the data correctly. So my first line is test case 1 should now run for how many sets of users, guys? 1 2 3 4 4 sets of users, user 1, user 2, user 3 and user 4. So I'm just printing whatever users I have here. I called it uname is my username and then my password is pwd. So I'm just printing this line and I'm printing what username and what password. So just come to your save this, come to your parameter dp xml file that we created. So we already said that bookings.pmt, no, what is a class that we created just now? pmtdp. So tell your XML file to run pmtdp, which is under bookings package. Save this and click on run as testng suite. So if you see the output, let's see what our output is. Okay. So if you see the output, we see that test case 1 should now run for 4 sets of users, user 1 and password 1. Same way test case 1 should now run for 4 sets of users, user 2 and password 2. In this way we see that this particular test case is executed for 4 different types of users. So if you see again, so if this is the functionality that I am testing, if I include data provider and create all the 4 different users, I can just with one click I ran this particular test case for how many different types of users, guys? 4 different types of users. This is the beauty of data provider. So today I have one test case which is good, well and good. What in case this particular class has, like for example 50 or 60 test cases? So all the 50 test cases, if I include just this data provider here, okay, in the first line how I mentioned here, this particular line if I include, all the tests will be run for all the different types of users, 4 different types of users. For all the 4 different types of users, your test will be executed. Just a small example to extend this, I am just creating one more test case. So you might have, this is just a print statements that I am printing. So look, it looks very easy, but when you're actually dealing with your code, right, normal usual functionality, your functionalities can be very very complex. So imagine how easy it is when you actually give the data provider annotation and at once all the 4 different users tests will be executed simultaneously. So for example I have test case number 2 here, and this I'm using the same data provider. Okay, at some point I feel that this test also should be run for all 4 types of users. Now I just give test case 2 should now run for 4 sets of users. Save this, come to your parameter dp.xml and okay, so previously test case 1 was run for 4 users. Now run this particular program as testng suite. We added one more test case, so let's see what happens. Excellent. So if you see the output clearly, you see that two test cases have run for all the four different types of users. So in this case, 1 to n number of test cases can be run for all the four types of users. So you are just declaring only once with the help of data provider what are the users and what are the passwords. So it actually reduces the complexity of your code, and it's very important topic. Also, this is very important interview question. So just try to understand the difference between how we have derived parameters from XML config and compared to how we are using data provider annotation in your program. If you have any questions, feel free to post your questions in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Happy coding, guys. Have a good day.